I wish I stayed ignorant to this world. I wish I never pulled at the threads, never asked the questions, never stared too long at the cracks in the walls. I wish I could have stayed inside the safe, stupid illusion, believing what I was told, chasing what everyone else was chasing, smiling for pictures and convincing myself it meant something. There was a time when I didn't see it, when I thought the system was fair, that people were mostly good, that love conquered all, that hard work paid off, that the world was a place you could carve a future into with enough effort and resilience. And then piece by piece it fell apart. The lies started slipping one by one, and I saw it for what it really was, a rotting, indifferent machine designed to grind you down, feed on your hopes, exploit your fears, and leave you hollow while you pretend to be whole. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't go back. You can't put the mask back on. You watch the people around you still playing along, still chasing after status, approval, full security, and you envy them because ignorance isn't just bliss, it's survival. It's protection from the suffocating truth that none of this makes sense, none of this is fair, and nobody's coming to save you. I wish I could go back to believing in good guys and bad guys, in simple narratives where justice wins and the truth matters. But the older you get, the more you realize how few people care about truth, how everything is shades of gray disguised as virtue. Every government, every corporation, every institution built on empty slogans and manipulated statistics, selling you a version of the world that keeps you docile, keeps you working, keeps you consuming, keeps you distracted. And the people parroting it either believe it because they have to, or they've been so thoroughly broken down by the system they've convinced themselves it's better than facing the alternative. I wish I still believed in happy endings, in soulmates, in good things happening to good people, in karma. I wish I could look at the world and see something other than a crumbling planet run by sociopaths, fueled by apathy, where everything meaningful is commodified, packaged, and sold back to you with a marketing strategy, where people trade authenticity for attention, trade loyalty for convenience, trade empathy for temporary clout. There's a certain peace in ignorance, in believing that the 9-to-5 grind is noble, that retirement is guaranteed, that the money you're bleeding your soul out for will eventually buy you freedom, in believing that politics isn't just theater, that voting fixes broken systems, that your voice matters in a world run by billionaires who see you as a number on a spreadsheet, in believing that love is forever, that friendships are unconditional, that people won't sell you out if it benefits them. But you watch enough betrayals, enough manipulations, enough carefully crafted illusions fall apart, and you learn otherwise. You see how fake everything is, how even in person people wear masks, how even grief is performative now, curated for online sympathy points, and it exhausts you because the more you notice it, the lonelier you become. You stop trusting, you stop connecting, you stop believing in the worth of new relationships, because the pattern always repeats. Everyone leaves, everyone lies, everyone's out for themselves when it really matters. And maybe it would be easier to believe it's just me, that I'm bitter, broken, too sensitive, too cynical. But I see it in everyone now, even if they won't admit it. The exhaustion behind their eyes, constant stream of distractions, because sitting in silence means facing what we all feel, that something's wrong, that none of this is working, that we're all trying to patch holes in a sinking ship, because pretending it isn't sinking is easier than drowning in the truth. I miss the version of myself who thought things would get better, who believed the future was something to be excited for, who thought there was a point to it all, that hard times built character and good things came to those who waited, being naive enough to find meaning in trivial things, in holidays, in gifts, in compliments, in someone's approval. Now it all feels so thin, so manufactured, so desperate. And the worst part is knowing you can never unlearn it. I wish I stayed ignorant to how disposable people are in this world, how you can give everything to someone, to a company, to a cause, and be discarded the second you're inconvenient. How friendships fade, how lovers move on, how families fracture, and everyone acts like it's normal, like loyalty is optional, like decency is situational. The older you get, the more you realize people don't care about you the way you thought they did. They care about what you can offer, about what you represent, about how you fit into their narrative. And when you don't anymore, they leave, and they won't think twice. And you'll sit with the weight of every conversation, every promise, every memory you thought meant something, while they move on to the next distraction. And nobody tells you how cold the world is once the illusions fade, how it strips you down, turns you inward, makes you question whether it was worth it to care in the first place. I wish I didn't see how hollow everything feels now, how trends come and go, how art is reduced to algorithms, how conversations feel like performance pieces, how we don't talk to each other so much as talk at each other. Everyone desperate to be heard, but no one really listening, and you start to wonder what's the point of speaking if nothing sticks, if every word is just another piece of digital clutter lost in the endless void of content we've drowned ourselves in. I miss when moments felt real, when you weren't thinking about capturing them for an audience, when laughter wasn't followed by the instinct to record it, when grief was private, when not everything had to be branded, captioned, sold. I wish I didn't know how little control we actually have, how society keeps you pacified with the illusion of choice. Pick this job or that one, both will devour your life. Choose this politician or that one, both will serve the same masters. Buy this brand or that one, both made in the same factory. It's a rigged game designed to keep you tired enough not to fight, entertained enough not to question, scared enough not to leave. And when you finally realize it, when the veil drops, there's no satisfaction in it, no empowerment, just this suffocating, helpless clarity that you're caught in a machine that doesn't care if you make it out alive. I wish I stayed ignorant, because awareness feels like a curse, because you see how most people aren't cruel, they're indifferent, how suffering is so common it's become background noise, how people will post hashtags and think it's activism, how every crisis is a fleeting headline until the next spectacle arrives. You watch the world burn in real time, and everyone shrugs because we've been so numbed by the endless onslaught of horror that empathy feels like a luxury we can't afford, and it wears you down. It breaks you in slow, invisible ways. I wish I stayed ignorant, because even the good moments feel counterfeit now. You catch yourself in a moment of peace, a small joy, and there's a voice in the back of your mind reminding you it won't last, that it's another fleeting distraction, a brief escape from the entropy closing in. And maybe that's the cruelest part of awareness. It takes the joy before you can even fully feel it, turns it into something suspicious, temporary, bittersweet. But you can't unsee it, you can't unknow it, you can't go back to believing in fairy tales when you've seen the strings. You carry the weight of it, the knowledge of how fragile and cruel and empty it all is, and you keep moving because what else is there to do? And you envy the ones still lost in it, still clinging to the lies, because ignorance isn't just bliss, it's mercy.